Hi everyone, my name is Carrie and I'm here to tell you about a young adult graphic novel I recently read called Sensory: Life on the Spectrum. This is an anthology that was composed by more than 40 individual authors and creators and edited by Bex Ollerton. Originally, these individual comics had started as a series of web comics meant to celebrate Autism Acceptance Month, and that eventually grew into a small Kickstarter fund to create a self published anthology. The response was so enthusiastic that it led to the book itself being published in 2022 by Andrews McMeel. Through the art and perspectives of individuals who are actually autistic, we can start to better understand just what it means to be neurodivergent. This graphic novel spans a whole variety of ages, but many of the stories center on adolescence and early adulthood. So many focus on navigating school and friendship and those types of relationships. One thing about this novel that immediately caught my eye was the amazing artwork. It is so unique for each story. It really matches each individual's creator's style, their experiences. Um, and I really wanted to show you a few different examples of some of the artwork that we can see. So, in this first example that's black and white, we can see a lot of that raw emotion that comes through that very basic black and white sketch. And then if we move over to the one that's full of rainbows, we can see this is a period of self-discovery for this particular author, and the almost euphoria that she feels, and just the happiness to be able to accept herself for who she is. And the other example in that far left-hand corner that I wanted to share, that one actually is a little bit more of a traditional comic style. It's got some pop culture characters that we're familiar with for a frame of reference. And it really just gives a lot of information about how a lot of people perceive and understand autism. So, my frustrations that I had with this book were few, but they were specific to the transition, or actually, I should say, the lack of transition between stories. Not all of the stories were labeled with a title or with their creator's name. And sometimes they had similar styles back to back, and those would flow together. So, a few times I didn't actually realize that a new story had started until I was a couple panels in. So I had to go back and realign myself with the content so I would know what I was reading. Um, Overall, one of the best ways to sum up this book and its overarching theme is presented at the end of the book. So you can see in this top strip right here, where she discusses, these are little kind of blips from various stories throughout and different characters throughout the book. There's a whole thing about autism being like soup, um, how it looks different for everyone. And then this final character where she says, when you meet one autistic person, you've only met one. This book was really eye opening, and I would recommend it to both neurodivergent and neurotypical teens who want to better understand autism. These stories are as educational as they are moving. And at the end of the book, there's a couple pages that actually they have QR codes for additional resources to some of the items that were explained and touched on into the different stories. And then there's a couple pages that has social media contact information for the contributors as well, if you wish to explore their artwork further. So, lastly, I just wanted to give a couple recommendations for additional books that were similar to Autism: Life on the Spectrum. So, the first, this is called A Camouflage by Sarah Bargy. This is a graphic novel that explores autism in women and children, which is a relatively new area of study. And then, secondly, on a slightly different topic, this is called My Brain is Different, which is a manga anthology, which is illustrated by Manzuzo, and it features 9 true stories of ADHD and other developmental disabilities. Thanks.